Good morning. It's Scott Cullen once again with the Cannata Report for another episode of Fridays with Frank. Great to be with you this morning. Before I bring out Frank, don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and send Frank your questions. And now please welcome Frank Cannata. Hey, Frank, how you doing this morning and what's on your mind?
I'm doing fine, Scott. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is just try to develop a whole series of subjects that we can address. And the one that comes to mind first is that when we're visiting dealers on the road, so to speak, it's always a question of who's going to be the first manufacturer to sell. When are they going out of business? And I keep saying none of them are. And they just find it so hard to believe that everybody's going to continue on. Well, so the way I'd like to kind of frame this is these are manufacturers, the big six as we call them. That's Canon, Konica Minolta, Ricoh, Kyocera, Sharp, Toshiba. Of course, you got Xerox in the mix now. They're dealing with their challenges. It's not that they're folding the tent and moving away. Best way I can describe it is very recently, Kyocera announced that they were divesting a couple of $1 billion, maybe a little bit less. I forgot the exact number, but they were divesting a considerable amount of money from within their business. Well, immediately somebody jumped on board and saying, well, I guess that's going to hurt the copier piece. It's got nothing to do with the copier business. Kyocera has 15 different applications, solutions, or businesses that they address. 15. They're doing the intelligent thing. They're getting out of the ones that they can't make any money with and have been a drain on the company. At the same time, they're moving ahead in a totally new area in print with textile printing. They've developed a waterless solution, which is incredible. This waterless solution gives the capability to be able to print on the most sophisticated fabrics. What is bad about that? So they're making a huge investment in a totally new area, and they believe it's an area, and we totally concur, that has a bright future. Because what they're doing is they're joining Konica Minolta, who has been in textile printing 10 years. They're joining Ricoh, who recently got into textile printing. I mean, Epson, I think, is the one that has been in for a long time as well. So it's not new to companies in the business that we're in. They know it. They understand it. And they understand if they're going to be in a business that's viable and going to continue, they've got to move into these areas that offer growth and opportunity for their distributors, for the people that sell their products, including themselves in places like Japan. So these are challenges they're all facing. Years ago, Canon, I'm going to go back maybe 10 years ago, when Morassi was still there, and CJ and I visited Japan. It was 11 years ago now this year. And he was talking about, at that point in time when we visited him, he was running Canon's direct operation. He talked about what they were doing to kind of, I wouldn't say re-energize or to find new applications. But what he said is they searched old patents. Now, why would they do that? They're looking for something that they can use they already have the patent for whatever the technology is, and use it in a different way. And what they came up with was something that was developed for cameras for scanning and photographing, which, to their great credit, they adapted for space. And they launched, some test products, or in conjunction with whoever is in Japan in terms of launching rockets into, as the satellites into space. And it opened up a whole new area for them to explore. I mean, and all the companies are doing, and this is what Kyocera is doing by saying, we're getting out of these businesses that don't make any sense anymore. We're going into these businesses. They chose others, and they're making investments in others. And they're investing in the businesses they have, which are doing well, like the copier print business. It's not doing poorly. And I wish people who would be so quick to write off a company would do some research. Our friend Hiro Ueda under Mike Stramaglio's Consulting produces a magazine, I would call it a magazine, a report called Domo. And Domo does an excellent job of reporting from Japan. And all of the manufacturers we know in the business, with the exception of Canon, close out their year March 31st. So if you read Domo in the April-May timeframe, and I'm not sure when Hero is going to be putting it out this year, but probably in that timeframe, end of year, you'll see how each company's doing. And then during the course of the year, if you subscribe to his service, they tell you how they do in quarter to quarter. So you can follow and see, yes, for the record, Kyocera has taken a beating. And what they're doing is correcting it so they can stop taking a beating and get back to the profitability that they once had. Now, we can make that case for every manufacturer. Look at what Sharp is doing. I mean, Sharp formed this relationship with Fuji, which is going to be a home run for them. I just got through interviewing Chip Maselli from Pulse in Chicago and asking Chip about his new exploration into production print. That is just indicating to Sharp we need to diversify. And what better place to diversify than into production print? Sharp is doing well. Nobody's accusing them of going out of business. And I just think that this pessimism about the future of this business is just totally unwarranted. I would venture to say there is as much opportunity in this industry as there is in any place else. And we're talking about the world of print and what the people in the world of print are diversifying into. A big movement on the dealer side has been to cybersecurity. Fantastic, because they recognize they have to diversify. But that doesn't mean that the manufacturer that they're buying their copier and print products is going out of business. It's if you have the mentality that yes, the copier print business was not what it was, we have to diversify. The message for today is stop being so pessimistic and stop being that, every time somebody says, well, it's not going well, we're losing, they're not going out of business. Does any business just climb every year, up, 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 and never have down cycles? That's nuts. It's, and to say that the business is going away. The business as it was conducted years ago is going away. It's a different business model. I just hope that we can get some sound thinkers to take a look seriously at the business, on the financial side of the business. The information is available. That's kind of my story for today. Let's have some faith that the manufacturers that we've traditionally done business with understand what they have to do, not only to survive to tomorrow, but thrive to tomorrow. That's my story.